Chapter 1: The New Job Offer. The email arrived in Emma's inbox like a whisper from the past, beckoning her towards an enigmatic journey. As a young archaeologist with an insatiable thirst for uncovering hidden histories, she had always yearned for the opportunity to delve into the unknown. And now, in the dim glow of her computer screen, the invitation awaited her. The sender was a wealthy collector by the name of Mr. Johnson, a figure shrouded in mystery and intrigue. His latest project, he explained, entailed the exploration of an ancient burial ground nestled deep within the ominous woods of his sprawling estate. The prospect of unearthing forgotten relics and unraveling the secrets of the past set Emma's heart ablaze with excitement. Yet, as she read the email, a sliver of unease coiled within her. There was something eerie about the way Mr. Johnson described the burial ground, a foreboding presence that lurked between his words. It sent a chill down Emma's spine, but her curiosity overpowered any sense of trepidation. With her decision made, Emma accepted the job offer without hesitation. She gathered her equipment and prepared for the expedition that would transport her into the depths of history's embrace. Little did she know that she was about to embark on a journey that would test the boundaries of her courage and sanity. Arriving at the estate, Emma found herself standing at the threshold of an ancient forest, its trees looming like sentinels of the past. The air carried an enigmatic whisper, a symphony of rustling leaves and distant cries of unknown creatures. As she ventured deeper into the woods, each step taken seemed to resonate with the weight of the past. Finally, Emma reached the edge of the burial ground, a sacred place shrouded in an ethereal mist. Tombstones stood weathered and worn, their inscriptions faded with the passage of time. A hush settled over the area, as if the spirits of the departed held their breath, awaiting her arrival. With cautious reverence, Emma began her exploration, running her fingers along the ancient stones, feeling the rough edges and the etchings of forgotten names. But as she ventured further, she became aware of a presence, a spectral energy that permeated the air. Shadows danced on the fringes of her vision, and she sensed eyes upon her, though no physical form was visible. The atmosphere grew heavy with anticipation, a palpable tension that made Emma's heart race. She could almost hear whispers carried on the wind, voices from centuries past, urging her to uncover the truth buried beneath layers of time. The weight of responsibility bore down upon her, but she was undeterred. She would uncover the secrets of this ancient burial ground, no matter the cost. With determination in her eyes, Emma set up camp for the night, her mind filled with visions of what lay ahead. The flickering glow of her campfire cast long, dancing shadows, mimicking the ghosts of the past that surrounded her. She could almost feel their presence, their ethereal fingers brushing against her skin, as if guiding her towards the revelation she sought. And so, as the moon ascended to its throne in the starlit sky, Emma drifted into an uneasy sleep, her dreams intertwined with whispers of forgotten souls and the promise of uncharted knowledge. Little did she know that her journey had only just begun, and the darkness that lay ahead would challenge her in ways she could never have imagined. Chapter 2: The Mysterious Burial Ground. The morning mist clung to the ancient tombstones, adding an ethereal touch to the already haunting scene. As Emma stepped into the small clearing, the air grew heavy with a palpable sense of history. Each step she took resonated with the weight of countless lives long gone, their stories etched into the weathered stones that surrounded her. The burial ground revealed its secrets reluctantly, hiding them beneath a veil of time and decay. Tombstones stood like silent sentinels, their surfaces marred by the passage of years, rendering some inscriptions illegible, as if the very essence of the souls they represented yearned to remain forever shrouded in mystery. Undeterred by the enigmatic atmosphere, Emma's fingers traced the worn edges of the tombstones, seeking the faintest traces of the forgotten past. Her touch invoked whispers of ancient stories, murmurs that danced on the breeze, begging to be heard. She felt a strange presence enveloping her, a chorus of voices that seemed to echo from beyond the realm of the living. As she continued her exploration, the weight of the unknown pressed upon Emma's shoulders, filling her with a mix of trepidation and curiosity. The air crackled with a charged energy, as if the spirits of the buried were awakened by her presence, yearning to share their tales of sorrow and longing. Time lost all meaning as Emma immersed herself in the burial ground secrets. She deciphered fragments of names, dates, and epitaphs, piecing together the fragments of forgotten lives. But with each revelation, a new enigma emerged, leaving her thirsting for more knowledge. As the day wore on, Emma's determination remained unyielding. The sun cast long shadows that stretched across the uneven ground, giving life to spectral shapes that seemed to dance among the tombstones. She was acutely aware of the weight of history, the burden of being the sole witness to the stories hidden within the sacred ground. The day's endeavors took their toll, and Emma decided to set up camp for the night. The flickering flames of her campfire cast a feeble light against the encroaching darkness, casting elongated shadows that seemed to mirror the ghosts of the past. She nestled herself within the embrace of her sleeping bag, her mind filled with echoes of whispers and the faint strains of forgotten laments. In the solitude of the night, Emma's dreams became a portal into the realm of the spirits. She found herself wandering through shadowed corridors of memory, catching glimpses of lives cut short and tragedies untold. The presence she had felt during the day now revealed itself more forcefully, tugging at the edges of her consciousness, urging her to delve deeper into the enigma of the burial ground. As she drifted between sleep and wakefulness, Emma sensed that the answers she sought were tantalizingly close, hovering just beyond her reach. And so, with a mix of anticipation and apprehension, she resolved to continue her work when the first rays of dawn cast their faint light upon the tombstones. Little did she know that the spirits of the burial ground watched her every move, their spectral forms veiled in the mist, whispering secrets that swirled in the wind. The mysteries hidden within the ancient stones beckoned her further, promising revelations that would leave an indelible mark on her soul. And as the night's embrace tightened its grip, Emma prepared herself for the journey that lay ahead, ready to unravel the enigma of the burial ground, one tombstone at a time. Chapter 3: The Unseen Presence. The moon hung high in the sky, casting an eerie glow upon the ancient burial ground. As Emma settled into her makeshift camp, a sense of unease lingered in the air. The night was still, the only sound being the soft rustle of leaves and the distant hoot of an owl. But soon, a disquieting change swept through the woods. At first, the noises were faint whispers on the wind, barely audible to Emma's ears. She dismissed them as the mere remnants of her imagination, remnants that had been awakened by the spectral atmosphere of the burial ground. But as the minutes stretched into hours, the whispers grew louder, their cadence rising and falling in a haunting symphony. Emma's heart quickened, her senses heightening as she strained to discern the source of the mysterious sounds. She felt an otherworldly gaze upon her, as if unseen eyes peered out from the inky darkness, studying her every move. Goosebumps prickled her skin and a chill slithered down her spine, as though a specter's icy fingers grazed her flesh. Fear gnawed at Emma's resolve, but her curiosity urged her to confront the enigma that surrounded her. She stepped cautiously into the night, her flashlight cutting through the thick veil of darkness. Shadows danced in her peripheral vision, elusive and fleeting, as if mocking her efforts to understand the unseen presence. Branches creaked under an invisible weight, and the underbrush rustled in inexplicable rhythms. Emma's breath caught in her throat, her pulse pounding in her temples. She called out into the darkness, her voice a desperate plea for answers, but all that greeted her was an ominous silence. The night grew heavy, suffocating, as the sounds intensified. Whispers turned into hushed murmurs, and the woods seemed to vibrate with an ethereal energy. Emma's mind raced with questions. Were these the voices of the restless spirits, reaching out from the beyond? Or were they something more sinister, lurking in the depths of the ancient woods? She tried to resist the pull of the unknown, to retreat to the safety of her camp, but an invisible force compelled her to continue. Every step she took echoed with uncertainty, her flashlight's beam revealing nothing but the swaying branches of gnarled trees. She couldn't escape the feeling of being watched, of being trapped in a world where the line between the living and the dead blurred. And then, as suddenly as the cacophony began, it ceased. The woods fell into an eerie stillness, the air thick with the residue of the unseen presence. Exhausted and bewildered, Emma returned to her camp, her mind awash with questions. Was it a warning? A test? Or merely a manifestation of her own fears? As Emma succumbed to sleep's embrace, the weight of the night's events clung to her like a shroud. Dreams teetered on the edge of nightmares, the ethereal whispers echoing in her mind. She tossed and turned, restless and plagued by visions that blurred the line between reality and fantasy. When she awoke, the first light of dawn painted the sky with hues of pink and gold. The night's torment had left an indelible mark upon Emma's psyche, and though the noises had ceased, she knew that the unseen presence still lingered, awaiting her next move. With renewed determination and a touch of trepidation, Emma vowed to uncover the truth. The burial ground held. Chapter 4, The Ancient Curse. Emma's heart pounded in her chest as she surveyed the disarray that had befallen her campsite. Her belongings were strewn about, as if ransacked by unseen hands. The missing notes left a void in her research, a void she knew held vital clues to unraveling the mysteries of the burial ground. It was clear to her now that something or someone did not want her to succeed. Undeterred by the intrusion, Emma steeled herself and resolved to press forward. With each step, she delved deeper into the heart of the burial ground, determined to uncover its enigmatic secrets. The air grew heavy, suffused with a palpable tension that seemed to thicken around her. As she studied the tombstones, their weathered surfaces revealed more than just the passage of time. Cryptic symbols and ancient markings etched into the stone hinted at a hidden language, a sinister message waiting to be deciphered. It was as if the very earth whispered its secrets, begging for release from the ancient curse that bound it. Emma's fingertips traced the faded inscriptions, her mind racing to unravel the puzzle that lay before her. But as she immersed herself in the cryptic symbols, a deep sense of foreboding settled upon her. The weight of the curse pressed upon her shoulders, threatening to suffocate her with its malevolent grip. Night fell once again, casting its dark cloak over the burial ground. Emma, undeterred by the encroaching darkness, continued her quest. With her flashlight cutting through the inky blackness, she stumbled upon an ancient stone tablet, partially obscured by overgrown foliage. It was adorned with intricate carvings that depicted scenes of sorrow, despair, and unspeakable horror. A surge of trepidation coursed through Emma's veins as she deciphered the inscriptions etched upon the tablet. It spoke of a curse unleashed upon those who dared disturb the sacred grounds, a curse that ensnared the living and imprisoned the souls of the departed. The weight of the curse became undeniable, its grip tightening around Emma's very existence. Whispers echoed through the night, carried on the wind, their spectral voices intertwining with the rustling leaves. The curse seemed to awaken dormant spirits, their presence manifested in chilling gusts and flickering shadows. Emma's heart raced, her every instinct urging her to flee, but an insatiable curiosity rooted her in place. As Emma delved further into the burial ground, she unearthed tales of tragedy and woe. Stories of forbidden rituals, of ancient rites performed under the cloak of moonlight, echoed through the corridors of time. The curse, it seemed, was a punishment for those who had trespassed upon sacred ground, invoking the wrath of vengeful spirits. Haunted by the revelations, Emma couldn't escape the feeling that she had become entangled in a web spun by forces beyond mortal comprehension. The burial ground held not only the secrets of the past but also the malevolence of an ancient curse. Yet, despite the looming darkness and the encroaching dread, Emma's determination burned brighter than ever. She knew that lifting the curse would not come without sacrifice. The path she had chosen was fraught with danger, and the price she might have to pay was unknown. But she couldn't turn back now. The souls trapped within the burial ground cried out for release, and it was her duty to set them free. Chapter 5, The Return of the Dead. A chilling wind whispered through the ancient burial ground, carrying with it the ominous presence of the awakened dead. Emma's footsteps faltered as she beheld the sight before her, grave after grave, their once still occupants now rising from the depths. Their hollow eyes gleamed with an ethereal light, as if fueled by a vengeful fire. Fear clutched at Emma's heart, but she knew she had no choice but to confront the horde of spectral figures. With each step, the ground trembled beneath her feet, resonating with the restless energy of the awakened dead. Their wraith-like forms closed in around her, their mournful moans filling the air. The faces of the deceased contorted with anguish and wrath, their spectral presence seething with a desire for retribution. Emma's pulse quickened as she realized the gravity of the curse. These tormented souls sought revenge on the living, their ire stoked by centuries of captivity and anguish. She had ventured into a realm where the boundaries of life and death were blurred, where the veil separating the mortal world from the ethereal had been torn asunder. In the grip of fear, Emma fought to steady her trembling hands, her mind racing for a solution that would quell the wrath of the dead. Summoning her courage, Emma mustered the strength to address the vengeful spirits. She spoke words of empathy and understanding, beseeching them to release their anger and find solace in the embrace of peace. But her pleas seemed to fall upon deaf ears, the dead relentless in their pursuit of justice. Desperation enveloped Emma as she searched for a way to break the curse, to lay the spirits to rest. Her mind delved into the depths of ancient texts, seeking forgotten rituals and long-lost incantations. Time was slipping away, and with each passing moment, the wrath of the dead grew more potent. Guided by fragments of forbidden knowledge, Emma discovered an ancient relic buried deep within the burial ground. The artifact pulsed with a dark energy, promising a sliver of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. With trembling hands, she wielded the relic, the weight of responsibility heavy upon her shoulders. As she chanted the incantation, her voice laced with determination, a surge of power coursed through her veins. The air crackled with a frenzied energy, and a blinding light illuminated the burial ground. The spirits hesitated, their ethereal forms waning in the face of Emma's defiance. In that moment, a connection formed between the living and the dead. Emma pleaded for understanding, for compassion to replace vengeance. Slowly, the wrathful specters began to fade, their haunting cries melting into the wind. The curse, at long last, relinquished its hold on their tormented souls. The burial ground fell silent once more, the echoes of the dead dissipating into the ether. Emma stood amidst the graves, her heart heavy with the weight of the encounter. The encounter with the return of the dead had tested her resolve, but she emerged with a renewed sense of purpose. The curse had been broken, the spirits finally finding release from their spectral shackles. But as Emma surveyed the hallowed ground, she knew that her journey was not yet complete. The burial ground held more secrets, more tales of tragedy and longing, waiting to be unraveled. With each step forward, Emma vowed to honor the dead and protect the sacredness of their resting place. She carried their stories, their pain, and their redemption within her heart, forever changed by the harrowing encounter with the return of the dead.